Hola. Hola.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV match preview. Leicester versus Newcastle United on Monday. We got to talk about that. Welcome, everyone. 2 p.m. in the UK, 8 in the morning in the US Central Time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Wayne and Gary with me. So,
Indeed.
what's happening, lads?
Oh, it's one of them, innit? You know what I mean? Football weekend's just not weekend without any football.
Yeah.
It is a sad state of affairs, but Win keeps updating me with all these like score lines, and you just think, oh, you know,
What's the league doing? Because Wayne, you,
well,
you were happy. Your team won today, Wayne?
you're muted, Win. You're still muted, Boot.
Yeah, I'm saying Everton have just equalised with Arsenal, so they've done us a favour. But the big thing that happens today in England, it's the Grand National, the biggest horse race in the world,
Yeah.
which you'll never have heard of.
You get up for that, man. Fucking hell.
No, no.
Man.
I tell you what. I've got a good bet if anybody's interested, though.
Go on.
The brown one with four legs will win.
Not necessarily. Plenty greaser one.
Oh, Jesus.
If anybody's interested, the mighty wins nap for today is Hewick.
Hewick.
You put money on a horse, man?
Yeah.
He likes his nags.
I like me nags. I like me old mares.
Boy, oh boy, my oh my. Anyways, the people said that 520 people that Newcastle will win. Leicester 3% for Leicester 3, and of course a draw another 3%. So I mean I think we're gonna beat Leicester. I mean, you know, Eddie Howe yesterday he said there's no easy games in the Premier League. Well,
And there aren't.
no, he's wrong though. There are, but you know, it is what it is. He can't say nothing. He can't say otherwise. But it's a very accessible win. You know, a game, I guess.
We should be winning.
Yeah, these are the games that you actually there should be no fear of. Put it that way. The pressure's all on them in relegation.
That's right. If we turn up, we'll win. Simple as.
And you know that's going to shape us, put us in a good position. I haven't looked at the table yet, but let's take a look. See.
Well, we've got a game in hand. If we win that, we'll go fourth.
Right.
So there's the question: would you rather have the games in hand or the points on the board?
Depends how many points. Depends how many games in hand.
You need to have the points on the board.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, we keep on talking about the likes of Forest being on third and stuff like that, and then you look at we could be 4 points behind them if we win that game in hand. But like I say, ifs, buts, and maybes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we got to do it. I mean, you know, there's no question. We have to win that game. It's against Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace is mid-table right now. They kind of are doing better than what they were when they started the season.
That again, you know, is a bit of a fallacy. People, your game in hand is against Crystal Palace. It doesn't matter who the game in hand's against. Yeah, it just so happens that Crystal Palace is the game that was cancelled that gave us the game in hand. But it still revolves around who you've got to play for all the teams for the rest of the season.
How is that a fallacy when you got to play against Crystal Palace?
It's a fallacy to say that the game in hand is against.
But it is.
But that's the one that got cancelled because of the cup final, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this dude.
But yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of. It's the same for them now. That same week because they've got an extra game that they probably didn't want.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because they still want to try and get into Europe, and there's an outside chance for them, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I don't know how many teams are going to qualify for Europe now, but if you think about it, how many can?
Well, if results go, there was somebody who put in the chat before. It could be down to 10 that get into Europe this year. if
that's the
if
case,
certain teams win the cups,
Well,
an English team wins
I
the
think Crystal Palace will have their eyes firmly on the FA Cup.
FA Cup. Yeah, exactly.
And their players will not want to get injured when they
One
play
eye.
us.
Yeah,
You know,
potential.
You know what we were like when both run-ups to our finals were iffy to say the least. You know, we got walloped off Bournemouth. The year before, the 2 years before, we lost a couple of games that we shouldn't have lost. You know, immediately before the semi-final and the final. So there's no doubt they'll have their eyes on it. And like I say, Aston Villa will have their eyes on the Champions League, you know, what Emery's like for his European competitions. And when you take all of these factors into consideration, and we've got no more distractions, no excuse really for not getting a sizable points total on the board.
Yeah, well, I agree with that, and I agree with the Crystal Palace thing. I mean, I think they will focus on the FA
that
Cup.
gets them straight into Europe. They don't need to worry about the league. If they win the FA Cup, they're in the Europa League. Simple as.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That is true. And in the league,
And the same with Aston Villa, by the way. They are still in the cup. Forest are still in the cup. They'll all be. Man City are still in the cup. So the four of our major rivals are still involved in the FA Cup, and apart from Man City.
I mean, to be fair, when you look at Man City's running their win, you've got to give them third spot. Yeah, I still think the first 1 to 3 is more or less taken now, because they've got quite a nice run in for. When you look at, I know they've lost Ireland now and things like that, but they've got a hell of a squad.
That's pretty damn important. You know, no rugby.
Yeah, but they're still scoring goals, mate. You know, I mean, they beat Leicester 2-0 in second gear.
Leicester.
Yeah, I know, but don't think, like I said, you know, at the end of the day, you've still got to win a game.
Right,
and like I say, they've still got players on there that can score goals, even though they've lost Haaland.
Right. Man City's running is they've got Man United away,
Yeah.
local derby at the weekend. Palace, they've got to play Palace. Everton away, they've got to play Villa.
Everton, man.
Then they've got a quite an easy finish. Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth. Well, I'm saying Bournemouth. Bournemouth are obviously, you know, fighting for their lives, and Fulham could be up there sniffing about.
Yeah, but you gave all those reasons, right? All those somewhat reasons that you want to just scrape the bottom of the barrel to come up with a reason of why they could lose. You can do that without you can do that without running as well. You know, so you can do that with any team.
Yeah, I'm just saying, for the team that they've got depth wise, excuse me, they've got probably the easier option. I mean, we've still got the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea towards the end of the season, and Everton, who are, you know, depending on where they finish, whether they're just I mean, I can't see anybody from the bottom three catching up now, if I'm honest. But I mean, you know, they are one of them teams now that seems to have turned a little bit of a corner. But at the end of the day, we've still got a harder run in, and to me, it's going to be the Chelsea and Arsenal game that will probably be the one that depicts, you know, are Arsenal going to be within touching distance of Liverpool? Can't see it, but you know, that's something that they're going to have to, you know, achieve. And Chelsea, again, they are fighting for certain things, and like we keep saying, you know, Chelsea have got the Europa Cup to think about. Potential could go as far as in the final with that one. Should win it, really. So have they got one eye on the cup? But again, it comes down to depth of squad. Can we keep all our players fit? And, you know, again, when it comes to the nooks and crannies of it, can we get the results when we need it? We can't drop off against teams like Leicester. That's all I'm saying. If they think it's going to be an easy game, it ain't.
Yeah, no, you just can't. You can't drop points at all. I mean, because you're gonna play against Man United the next Sunday. That's, I mean, you should be able to beat them, but still, you know, it's up. That game is always. I wouldn't count on it. You just got to go out there and turn up and beat them. It can very well happen. We did it last season. But they got quality players, is what I'm saying. They can easily draw a game at the end or get a. It can happen. Crystal Palace, you make that game up. Um, they're fighting for Europe regardless. You're going to play them April 16th. That's not when they're going to play the FA Cup final if they make it. So
No, but they'll have their eyes on it.
yeah, but when is their next game in the FA Cup?
The semi-finals are on 26th of April.
Yeah, this is a whole 10 days after.
And 27th.
So I don't know. In Aston Villa, although just like anybody,
Well, Villa play PSG.
That's fine. But if Newcastle were in the Champions League, I would prioritize Champions League over anything. Any manager would do that. However, I mean, only you think Aston Villa is going to win the Champions League. Nobody else cares. Nobody else not cares, but nobody else thinks that. They're not going to win the Champions League. They're not going to be Real Madrid. It's not going to happen. So, will Emery really
Says you.
You think they're going to win? Okay, perfect. You put your money on that. I put my money on everybody else that wins it all the time winning it. How about that? Because they got a much bigger firepower. They're just too strong. Come on, man. Aston Villa doing a decent run on a different format, but they're not going to win the Champions League, man. Come on, man. Just wake up, old man.
On that basis, you should just give us the 3 points now against Leicester and didn't bother playing the match.
But that's not that's the total different. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying. Aston Villa will try to get the Champions League or win as many as they can, but the reality is, what are the chances of them winning the actual cup? For them to just give it all to the cup and ignore the Premier League, that's not going to happen. They're not going to ignore the Premier League. They're going to play against Newcastle at home. They're not just going to give up the game, man. It's
I'm not saying they're going to give up the game.
Yeah, but you're saying they're going to be focused on the Champions League, so we're going to win. It don't work like that.
I'm saying it's a benefit to us.
Sure.
That they are in the Champions League and the FA Cup. That's to our advantage.
Sure, I can agree with that, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean that's like saying that's why the likes of the trebles and the quadruples are very rarely done, isn't it? Because you're avoiding on so many scopes to actually compete in, and it's teams that have got depth of squads that usually go far in all competitions, and keeping players fit. So there's an element of luck in everything that you can do. But I'm like, for me, it's a case of realistically, for them to be in the Champions League next year, they've got to finish in the Champions League positions in the Premier League, because I can't see them winning the Champions League. Some teams have in the past, but very rarely do teams that are underdogs compete when it comes down to the quarters to the final, unless you're a bigger team. So I just think, at the end of the day, we've just got a job to do, and it starts on Monday against Leicester. Because, like I say, we've done Brentford now, and we've just got to continue that momentum going forward. And it doesn't matter what any other team does, as Wynn said before. If we win that game in hand, it automatically puts us in that Champions League spots. But I honestly believe, and again, this is the only way I look at it, having looked at the runnings from every single club now that's in that top six, fourth and fifth spot are Newcastle are probably going to end up with. And I think that's, like I said, fourth spot is guaranteed Champions League. Fifth spot, it's a 95% chance of guaranteed.
Yeah, you're right. If we win our games, that should be it. Obviously. So Leicester, accessible. Man United, accessible at home. Crystal Palace, accessible. Villa, that's going to be a tough one. Although we've beaten them away as well. The last game we did, and I don't know about the last one before that, but we've done it. And then Ipswich, come on. At some point you got to beat somebody. If you don't beat these teams, then you're just not good enough to make it Europe. Well, I mean, you're gonna make Europe anyway, but you're not good enough to finish fourth, fifth. If you You can say we can say all we want. We got this talent, we got these players, and all you want. But if you don't beat these teams, Ipswich, Leicester, to a certain extent, Crystal Palace, those are the ones, by the way, because the rest are no easy bunch. Those are the ones. If you don't beat these three teams, then you're not good enough, and that's the reason why you don't qualify for Champions League or Europa League. Then you're not good enough. Plain and
I'm
simple.
just gonna nip off, guys, for a second. The dog's barking. I don't know whether somebody's at the door. 2 seconds.
That's fine.
5 games at home we've got.
That's fine, but that don't mean nothing to win. We've this season we've lost at home so many times, man. Or drawn. You know that this home thing, man. Come on, man. We got the best fans in the world, but that's just not gonna win the games, man. Because you got Brighton. They're no easy team. We're proven.
That's a win.
To us. Then you got Chelsea. That could be a home, but still, got talent. Arsenal again. Although we've beaten them three times out of 3. But you can't be living on sentimentality. It can happen.
I'm not living on
I'm sure it will happen. It could happen, but it's not an easy game at all. We're going to be at the Emirates again, and then Everton, who I think is accessible as well, actually. So it should be 4.
Arsenal will have their eye on the Champions League.
Come on, man. If they're still in it, first of all.
Well, when they beat Real Madrid in the next round.
Yeah, well, come on. See, you're just living off, what you hope is going to happen, but it's not going to be that game against Real Madrid, man. It's not going to be nowhere.
The other Arsenal scenario is that they're dropping points again today at Everton. The Champions League is all Arteta is hanging his head on right now for survival. Because if he gets when he gets knocked out the Champions League, but I hope he doesn't, because that's in our favour. For a lot of reasons, for the England coefficient and everything. I want all England teams to keep on progressing.
I don't. I just want Newcastle.
Well, no, because by England teams progressing, we get the 5th place in the Champions League.
Well, if we need to make 4th and Arsenal not win the Champions League, I'm very much happy with that. That's what I want. I don't want Arsenal winning the Champions League. I don't want Aston Villa. Much less.
I want us finishing above Arsenal.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, I don't want Aston Villa, much less Aston Villa. I don't want them to win the Champions League. No, hell to the no. Yeah. That would be a punch to the nuts if Aston Villa win the Champions League.
Completely disagree.
That's fine. But
it gives us the 5th place in the Champions League.
No, sir. No. That just means a club that is parallel to you winning a trophy over you. Same if Spurs. I'm competitive, man. You just there for the ride. You just enjoy. You got the Carabao Cup now. You're good for another 70 years. Not me, man. I want more and more and more. And I don't want my competitors to win nothing. Not a damn thing. I want them to lose every time.
As usual, a very short-sighted.
No, it's not. If you're good enough for the whole entire existence of football until, when they actually rebranded the Champions League, 4th. That's what you got to do to get the Champions League. 4th at least.
That used to be.
Be man enough. Grow up. Actually, the winner, their winner should quit.
You used to have to win it.
The winner, we used to quit. But the thing is, whatever it is, the rule. Now you can benefit, but I'm not going to be praying for Aston Villa or Arsenal to win for me to qualify. Screw that, man. If you're good enough, play and win games, and qualify, get the 4th. Yeah, plain and simple, bro.
Short-sighted as usual.
It's not. I'm not praying for Aston Villa or Arsenal to win. I don't want them at all.
I want Chelsea to win the conference. I want Man United to win the Europa, and I want either Arsenal or Villa
what kind
to
of
win
Newcastle
the
fan
Champions
is this guy,
League.
man? Damn. By the way, look at Beard. We won the cup. That's it for me. I always said all I want to see is a club win something. If we get more, great, but I will never want us to be entitled. Well, Beard, I used to not know you like that, by the way. You've changed a lot, man. You've changed a lot. Beard, when we had 10 people watching at the time, Beard used to be much more, his comments were not friendly towards Eddie Howe at the moment, by the way, at the time. He wanted more and more and more. And now he's gotten the title, so his belly's full and doesn't want to move like an anaconda. Well, no. That happened to me for a week though, by the way, but not gonna.
Beard, we need your Leicester prediction, by the way.
Yeah. People, if you haven't given your prediction, please do that. Jordy then Willem.
That's a classic.
I've seen what quite a few Arsenal fans said about us winning the cup. Win, and you want them to win the UCL. No effing way. Hope they crash for the rest of this. Exactly. Them twats don't like us, man.
Well,
the whole rest of the league. The whole rest of the league. Even Jason, not Jason Kunda, but the other idiot, O'Hara, talking BS. All for the sake of views and publicity. So but regardless, he said it. Just clowns and clowns. I don't want them to win a damn thing. I specifically don't want Tottenham or Aston Villa to win a damn thing, because they are, to a certain extent. Actually, we're in a better position than Tottenham now. We won a title. They haven't in so long. I don't want them to win nothing. I don't. Plain and simple. No, not me. I want us to win, and then we move up in the food chain. We move up in the ladder.
For very selfish reasons, I wouldn't mind Arsenal winning the Champions League, but I want them to crash.
That gives you. You know what winning a title means, man.
I want them to crash and burn in the Premier League for very selfish reasons, because I've got a £200 bet on with a kid at the club that Newcastle finish above Arsenal.
Oh,
well, that's a very.
And by the way, I doubled down on that, because it was 100 originally, and I doubled down on it when we were still 10 points behind them.
Yeah. But listen, a title is forever. Aston Villa would say, "I won the Champions League. You won nothing." No matter.
They've already won the Champions League.
Yeah,
but that was 2,000 years ago. Now, exactly. So you don't want them to get another one.
So you don't count Real Madrid's Champions League from 2,000 years ago.
You do. That's why. Well, let me double down.
Count theirs, but you don't count Villa's.
I count Aston Villa. Yeah. I count Aston Villa and Forest. Yeah. So I'm gonna double down and say I don't want them to win another one. So we actually have a chance to catch up. How about that? Because it is important. That lasts forever. Look at them. Forest living off of that for a million years. But the fact of the matter is they didn't win anything after, so they kind of just went downhill. But Aston Villa the same. Let us catch up, man. Let us win. Let us actually win the proper Champions League, and we'll be back on track. So stop hoping for other Premier League teams to win anything, man. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? I see. I won fifth place for the English teams
for one season. You make Europe for one season, and they have the cup forever. No, I don't like that trade-off. Thank you. Anyways, so let's continue with the preview then. We was looking at the runnings there for a second. The standings right now: Newcastle 6. Man City play already?
No. Play Sunday.
Oh, they play Sunday.
Man United derby.
And by the way, man, Man City, De Bruyne leaving, man.
Yeah, it was a nice letter he wrote.
It was.
Yeah, he's letting the fans know I'm gone, boy.
But to be fair, I think he's like I said, certain individuals know when it's time, don't they? Yeah. There's you look. We've been talking for a while now about the likes of Callum Wilson and stuff like that. Has he still got it for the Premier League? And obviously, I don't think he has at all now. Having seen him come back, he does look like he's struggling with the pace of the game. And like I say, sometimes when you're under pressure yourself personally to perform, you start snatching at shots where before he wouldn't have. He'd have been relaxed in front of goal, and hence you get the right result at the end of it. Now he looks quite a way off the pace now, and he's not on his own. If I'm honest, there's potentially a couple out there again. You've got to ask yourself about Lascelles after a horrific injury like he's just recovering from. Where's his future lie now? I know they're going to be released. I can't see them obviously being at this level wherever they go in Europe. But what we've got to start looking at now is the fact that somebody's put in the chat, didn't they, earlier about would you take Kevin De Bruyne on a free? Well, if he can't do it at Man City, what do you expect him to do at Newcastle? Because we want.
I think that's harsh saying he can't do it at Man City.
Yeah,
he's not done it though. But he's not done it. That's why he's going.
He's been
That's-
injured.
Well, I don't think he's
Yeah,
going because
but-
he can't play at Man City. That's why I'm saying bye. I don't think he's doing that. I think it's more than just. I think he can't give that club anything else no more. And
Yeah, but you know yourself. I mean, that's what I said. A good player knows his ability. When that ability goes from you, and ability doesn't go from you, it's that half a yard to get to the space that he used to get to provide the balls.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him as a as a bench player. I mean, that's that would be imagine De Bruyne or Longstaff on one leg. I'd take De Bruyne all the time.
Great idea. Let's pay Kevin De Bruyne the £500,000 a week that the
Listen,
Saudis will play him, and have him, him as a bench player.
He'll go to the MLS.
idea.
Yeah, no, but he's not.
He'll go to the MLS, man.
He probably go. Well, I mean, that's
Or
probably what
Saudi.
he's got planned. But I mean, I'm not. If he wants 500,
I
by the
tend
way,
to agree with you. Listen, he's set up for life anyway. He did so money.
and he's going to get paid in Newcastle. It's not like he's
totally
not going to get paid. He's going to get paid, but I'm not going to pay a lot of money, that much money. But if he doesn't want to, then that's fine. Yeah, like what I'm trying to say is
he'll not be going anywhere in the Prem.
No, well, he said that.
I
He
don't
doesn't
think
want to
so.
play in the Prem. That's what he said.
I don't think so. Yeah, I agree with that. But we made the hypothetical question: would we take him in the club? I mean, it's just talking about the player. I wouldn't mind him to strengthen the squad. But not to be a regular starter. I don't think he has it in him, and he probably wouldn't want to do that anyway, because I mean he knows that his legs are going to be out at some point again, and he doesn't want to do that. So insights for this game: Leicester have scored 0 goals in the last 5 matches, haven't scored in their last 6 matches. So basically, the two are the same. I don't know why they put it as different stats. They have scored 0 in the last 6 matches. Haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 26 matches, man. I haven't kept a clean sheet. So I would if you're predicting, I wouldn't put 0 for Leicester. Have scored 6 goals in their last 6 matches, Newcastle. 6 goals in the last 6 matches, okay. Newcastle United haven't lost to Leicester City in their last 5 meetings. 4 wins to 1 draw. And Alexander Isak has the most shots on target per match for Newcastle, 1.5. So, I mean, yeah, it's just this game. It's not even at the moment. Although they're at home, I don't know if that's gonna.
Well, they've lost their last 4 or 2 to 0.
To 0, yeah, exactly.
So it's just they don't have a really a decent team. Do you got the Leicester lineup, Gary?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. We'll work on this. And yeah, I mean, Newcastle just got to go out there and get the 3 points. It's plain and simple, man. I mean,
Nothing is plain and simple in football, Chris.
No, here's the thing, though. There is a reason why teams are better than others, and there's a reason why teams win trophies and others get relegated. Nobody though will win if you talk about Real Madrid that's in the semifinals against Arsenal. If they think, we're going to beat Arsenal, there's no big deal, they're going to lose as well. Any team that gets lackadaisical and thinks they got it won, they're going to lose. But if they're up for it, as they should be, then they're going to win 9 times out of 10. That's what I'm saying. And if Newcastle are up for it 9 times out of 10, they're going to beat Leicester. So if everything happens the way it should, we should beat Leicester. Don't be afraid to say it, old man. It is, come on, man. There we go. Let me fix this thing. There you go. Now we got the Leicester, what could be the Leicester lineup. So
they've played this system and lineup now against the 2 Manchester clubs, Man United and Man City, both obviously at the end of a loss. And it is what they've got is Hermanson in goal with Thomas, Cody, and Face as a 3 at the back, centre halves with Christiansen left wing back. And Justin right wing back. You go into their midfield and you've got Sumar and Ndidi play as a 6. Then you've got Dakar and some Kanyusi who play as more of an attacking midfield role with James Vardy up on the top of the screen there. And if I'm honest with you, what I've noticed with with this screen. I'm just going to exit from this, Chris, and just get an overview, as you can see here. And what we've got normally from this screen is they play this hybrid 5-2-2-1 system, which in actual fact, from the games that I've seen them play, and I've watched them for the last 4 or 5 games now, it's more a 3-2-2-2-1 system. It's very confusing, and I mean we've talked in the past about Van Nistelrooy having issues.
It's obviously confusing their players.
Well, it is, and I'll go into a couple of solutions if I like. When Van Nistelrooy's come in, and his obviously aim is to stop conceding goals. It's not working, and it's reasons why it's not working is quite simple. When you look at, if I highlight the middle three here, what you've got is very much the box midfield. And they stay very narrow, and the ideal is obviously as the ball's played into that middle section of the ground, they're competing 9 times out of 10 against lesser opposition, because a lot of teams now play with 2 deeper players, with 1 going in the 10 slots, so they're always outnumbered. And that was where Van Nistelrooy hopes to get that little bit of a relationship between 2 attacking midfielders with Vardy, rather than leaving them behind. The biggest problem with this is they stay very narrow. So what you actually get is a lot of opposition teams will play with the likes of their fullbacks going forward. And as we've seen from Newcastle recent weeks, the likes of Tino Livramento, given space, given the opportunity to run down the wing, the same as Kieran Trippier, they will use that. And I think that is where, from what I've seen so far, Leicester have struggled. Going on to the next board, I mean, for me, it was a simple adaptation. If you dropped from the box and played them a little bit deeper, what you'd get then is Kanyos be able to go out on that left-hand side and block any runs where you get the overload from the likes of Kieran Trippier and Jay Murphy. The same as Daka. If he was dropped a little bit deeper, what you'd get there is a little bit of a player who can then support the fullback. And for me, it's all about, like I say, when you've got troubles within a camp, and like I say, these troubles seem to, I don't know, it's like, a forest fire. That little bit of wind just seems to engulf and drive the fire somewhere else. When you're down and out, when you're at the bottom of the table, you've got players then, the likes of Winks, who could have probably done you a job in that central position. Then there's a bit of an issue between yourself and the coach, and things like this just don't seem to happen. And for me, I think the players that are playing at the present moment in time, they're giving it all, but they haven't got the quality. Now, when you haven't got the quality, what you need to do is stop the opposition from playing. The box isn't working, so for me, they need to go either to a 5-4-1 or even go to a 3-5-1, something like that. Because to me, Christian goes on too many forward runs. When they give the ball away in the final third, which is a lot of times, there's a lot of space in and behind him. And I'll give you, for example, what I've got here is a little bit of a mock-up. And when you look at this working, bear with me a second. When you look at this working, you've got exactly what they do all of the time. They'll play into a position where you've got a build-up down the left-hand side. And again, the reasons why I've gone left is because that's our dominant position. And every time you'll get the ball moved into Harvey Barnes, you'll get an overload from Tino Livramento. A lot of the time it's 2-on-1 from the opposition that I've seen play against the likes of Leicester. Tino then will just dink it into the middle of the park. And the one thing that you've got to be aware of is where Vardy plays. Now, this to me is their only outlet. From every time I've seen them play this season, the only outlet you get, what Vardy does very cleverly, he'll isolate an individual. Now, if, like I just said, if we've got a lot of possession and we decide to move forward and Trippier just moves to support the front line like he often does when we've gone down this left-hand side, what you'll get is a one-on-one foot race with the likes of Fabian Schär. Because what Vardy seems to want to always do is go out there on that right wing situation. What you get then when you progress is the ball will come out to this 20, 25 yard mark, and it's just one thing in the mind, and that's to put the ball into the space. And what you get then is, like I say, is that foot race between one individual, where Vardy gets clever and where he gets a lot of his results. And I'm going from days gone by because he has lost a yard of pace now. He likes to get body in front of player and ball. And then what you get then is a potential to get a red card, because if a player touches your legs and you go over, that's where, I say, non-technical, clever players come in. And again, you move it down to the next screen. If it's a foot race, what you're reliant on, or what Newcastle have been reliant on in the past, is Big Dan Burn to stick his long legs out and obviously try and get back into a position where he can support the one-on-one foot race. When you get into this position, like I say, it is a lottery. Does he shoot early, or do we get Dan Burn, who's highlighted there, who gets the block on and it goes out? So that to me is, I say, not the only concern, but it's one of those concerns that it's their outlet. That seems to be the way they play, and everybody then rushes out to try and support the goal. Going on to where they sometimes seem to fail is, when a lot of players have scored goals against them, when you get into this scenario here, and again, I've highlighted where our most dangerous zone is, and that's Tino Livramento down that left-hand side. We usually do what's called the pendulum, as we've often said, where you'll go passing left to right hand side. There's a little bit of movement from Kieran Trippier and the likes. And for me, where Leicester City seem to concede a lot of goals is in this zone. And I'd marked a lot of players with white lines, because what I saw against Man United, what I've seen against Man City, where they've got goals against them, is movement from players in and around the 12 to 22 yard line. It's sharp movement. You saw Man City, like I say, played in second gear most of the time, but what you got from the likes of Mamouche and things like that, Grealish, was plenty of movement. And 9 times out of 10, what you get from the likes of Face and Cody is just them squaring up to players. They're flat-footed. They can't react to the movement, the quick-pace movements. So we need the likes of Tonali, for me, who we've seen, he's got the shot on him. If he receives the ball from the 25-yard mark, he's just to have a go. Because I think goals are a gape when it comes to this type of situation. They go deep on the 6-yard line. There's plenty of bodies for us to try and play through, and that's what they try and do. They try and block a lot of the shots, but they've been nowhere near getting close to the ball in previous games. And again,
hang on. I don't think we want to be relying on Tonali shooting from improbable positions. That's not going to work.
Well, I'd rather him cross, if that's what you call a cross. You know what I mean? If he crosses, there's a chance of a goal. And going on to again, this is a one against Man United. When I said before, where they often struggle is when Christensen goes forward and he goes on a mini run. Sometimes what they do, the ball will break down in the final third when they're attacking. The ball goes out wide. Christians move on forward, and what you get, the same as Newcastle do. Connor Cody has done exactly the same here. He's gone forward to try and support an attack. The ball's come away. It's come onto this right-hand side. And it was Bruno Fernandes, who played a simple ball in and behind. And it was Sumer who unfortunately made a bit of a rick, didn't block the ball. And it was just a simple run in between lines. Now, we know how good Isak is running off the shoulder. And again, he'll highlight players when they ball watch, they all seem to move in one direction across the park. And it was very evident to see here. Fass was the one who was centrally, and you've got Sumer and Thomas who had moved over a little bit to try and support Christensen going forward. When you go on to the next phase, like I say, it just becomes a foot race. They're not very pacey at the back now, and what you often get is a situation where it's 1 versus 3 players. They still can't seem to catch up with the ball, and like I say, for the likes of Hoyland, who hasn't hit anything really substantial this year, he just literally knocked the ball out of his feet. found a yard of space, aimed it across Emerson. It was in the back of the net, and that was just 1 on 4 players. And that's what I think Newcastle, if they do what I believe they will do, and that's complete, the possession wise, and knock the ball to the left hand side and the right hand side. I think what we've got to look at is the space that Leicester provide you and give you. They're very square on. They're all ball watching at times, and like I say, once you're square on, and there's a yard of space between your two centre halves, and one was a makeshift centre half when the likes of Connor Cody goes forward. They'll give you opportunities. What we've got to do on the day is take them.
All right. All right. So our lineup, what I'm assuming is going to be the same, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was going to go on to
gonna...
Newcastle. Yeah, I was going to go on to Newcastle. Like you said, I mean, it's a bog standard for me. Standard as it was when it comes to Newcastle. I don't think there's going to be any difference.
Changes.
No.
When is Anthony Gordon? When does he come back?
Well, he's available. He's available if he's fit.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he's got the issue.
I think it's going to be exactly the same. I don't think there'll be any changes. Pope, Burnshaw, Trippier, Livramento, Tonali, Jonathan, Gilmares, Murphy, Isaac, and Barnes. And again, we were talking, about the drop off in performance. There isn't a lot that you can change without affecting a performance. So for me, you don't change a winning side unless, like I say, there's an injury. And like I say, we have got a couple of question marks against Trippier and Isaac that had suffered groin injuries. But according to the presser, Eddie Howe thinks they're going to be okay.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see what happens with Gordon. I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to come back and play anyway.
I'm just sorry, Beard, if that was a little bit much. Yeah. Listen, you don't want to listen to me when I haven't had a drink, mate. Never mind after a few points. But he did say he was only kidding. I mean, listen, that's me all over. I do love tactical and technical issues when it comes to coaching and availability.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I love to Nut says I love to know what Dubravka has done to lose his spot. I agree with you 100%. Now, in hindsight, with the cup, being won, people don't say anything no more. But I still maintain Dubravka should be playing. And I'm not. Pope playing, man. He's not keeping me reassured that he's so he's well, not. He doesn't seem confident. He doesn't seem confident still. Winning the cup. See, that's the thing though. Winning the cup means, we didn't. He had a good save at the end, of course. I think Dubravka could have made that save, but we're not going to get into that argument. But it's not like Liverpool battered us for 10 shots and he saved 10 shots, and because of him we were, so. He's going to be in on the record to be the goalkeeper that started, but I don't think that Dubravka did anything to come off. So I wouldn't be interested. And Tunat has been a long time defender of Eddie Howe, so
Yeah, I mean, like, we've said it at the time, didn't we? There wasn't a lot of reasons for Eddie Howe to drop Dubravka, apart from what we don't see. And like I say, a lot of the time what we don't see is what happens in training. Now, if Dubravka isn't as sharp in training as Popey is in training, then it gives the manager the option. And I think sometimes, and I hate to say it, because like I say, I haven't seen a fault with Dubravka at times. What you've got to say is you've got to trust what the manager believes in. And if the manager believes that I'd rather have a shot stopper than somebody who can play with his feet, then that's what you go with. And like
True,
I say, he hasn't been proved wrong, has he? And I think that's the big thing.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you watch Pope, man. He's just,
it's dodgy.
Yeah,
it's dodgy.
But you say watch
it's like saying, if Longstaff comes on and we win, or we win the cup per se, in that final. If Longstaff is able to come on 10 minutes prior, that we want. That Longstaff had something to do, or he was right because to put Longstaff in. One thing doesn't make the other right. It doesn't to me. Longstaff still somebody that is not, is probably not good enough to continue. But and I'm not saying the same thing about. I'm not comparing him to Pope, by the way. Yeah, but I mean, I think I don't see why Dubravka had
All
to come
I'm
off.
saying, everybody knows. I think I preferred Dubravka to Pope, right? And I wasn't happy to say, let's say, when Eddie picked Pope over Dubravka. But Pope essentially had one thing to do in that cup final, and he did it. Fantastic save. Now, would Dubravka have made that save? We'll never know.
We never know exactly.
Because he wasn't there. But Pope did make it. So Eddie's decision was proven to be the right one. Clean sheet and a magnificent save.
I don't agree with that, but anyway, it is what it is. Well, you better forget that you're going to see Dubravka ever this season. So it is what it is.
Well, I say again, I don't necessarily think that's the case. If, for example, Pope has a stinker on Monday,
and you think he's going to take him off?
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah,
he has stinkers before the cup final. He didn't come off. So what are you talking about?
Dubravka got in and kept his place.
Well, I wonder what the Arsenal fans are going to be saying
Not
now
really.
as the match finished 1-1.
Yeah.
They're going to be losing. They're going to be losing, of course.
And that's what I said. The Everton game's not going to be an easy game, guys, at the end of the season.
But again, were Arsenal's eyes on Tuesday?
Well, potentially, yeah. But they just struggle up front, don't they? They haven't got a striker. Now they haven't really got a great defence because they've lost Gabriel. So, like I say, everybody keeps on talking about us being a one-horse pony, if you like, because of Isak. But I think people forget the likes of players at the back who have stopped a lot of us conceding goals. And that's what I said. It's great to have a striker on form, but I think there's a lot of players that need a lot of credit as well when it comes to not only giving Isak the ball and the opportunities to score, but also blocking shots against. So I think, like I say, it takes a team to win games. It doesn't take individuals.
Yeah, well, I think it was PDK who put in the forum, wasn't it, yesterday, that sparked a bit of debate. Who was the most important player this season? Most important player?
Tonali.
Tonali or Isak?
Tonali. I'm telling
you. I said Big Dan Burn.
I just answered your question, man. I don't know why.
Well, there's a surprise.
Exactly, so and I'm supposed to be nice.
That was said tongue in cheek. But
okay, I'm glad that you realized that tongue in cheek. There we go.
Yeah, that was said tongue in cheek. But I if you look at the games when Isak hasn't played,
it's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying
you only got one striker, but
you haven't got like for like, exactly, and that's what I keep saying.
Forget like for like. We don't even have half a like.
No,
well, what Isak.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I totally agree. I mean, somebody was saying, I think it was DX that was talking about, Gordon. You got Wilson, Gordon, and Asula. Now, I'm still not sure what Asula is. Because every time I've seen him play up top, he doesn't look comfortable as a striker at the minute. Whether he's trying too hard or what, I don't know. But I don't see a natural striker yet. Because his instinct isn't to shoot when he's got the opportunity. He wants that extra touch. Now, whether we can be moulded into one, then, only time will tell. But he's not a youngster anymore. No. And that's what I said. We've got to decide very quickly next season what to do with Asula. We either keep him and mould him, or we move him on to a loan to buy or whatever. But at this present moment in time, I think that wasn't a wise choice to bring him in. I think that was more of desperation
it's crazy.
Because of our numbers.
I don't think if you're a Newcastle team that's trying to win trophies or compete for that. The more I think about it, the more I think this way, that you can't do it with young players that you were hoping they're going to get better, because you're not going to give them time, because you got to win now. You got to win the game now. So you're not going to trust them, an Asula at the start over Isak. So, it's I forgot what team I was thinking of that didn't buy anybody that was just that's young, because you don't have the time to put them on. Oh, even Man City. Look at Man City. Man City sold all their young talent, gave it away to everybody else, because they just won't play. Plain and simple, they won't play. They will not play. They got maybe they don't have nobody as good as Haaland, but they got somebody that can. At the time, they had Julian Alvarez, who's really great talent. And so, you're going to have to get these players that are ready to come on and play. But the young ones, like Cole Palmer at the time, who else can we say? Rico Lewis can come on and play, but that's one. So we can have the Lewis Miley. But you're not going to have all these players that Newcastle have been buying young players left and right, by the way. That we think they're going to play good. But they're not for the now. And are you really going to risk games to bring in young talent to play them? Because they need game time. So you can't have it, it's... They can only come in if you're winning 4-3, 4-0. But how many times is that going to happen? So I just don't think that I think we need to stop buying young players like that. I think we need to.
Well, I think it depends on the type of youngster you're looking at. If you're looking at a player that's got some minutes in him, and it's like I go back to Arsenal and Wary. When you look at him, 17-year-old coming in because Saka gets injured, sometimes you find a little hidden gem that you probably before that wouldn't have trusted him. But because your hand is forced, you have to go. What we've got with Eddie Howe is he'll play Anthony Gordon up front because before we hadn't had Wilson or Isak available. And unfortunately, Anthony Gordon, just because he did it at the under-21s international, playing through the middle, just never looks like he's going to score a goal when he plays in a black and white shirt. So why not give somebody the likes of, a youngster the opportunity to prove himself in front of goal? And for me, it's a case of if he doesn't trust Asula this year, when we are really struggling, when we buy players for the front line next year, if that's what's going to happen with all the names that are touted forward, where's Asula going to sit then?
Well, one and then we'll go to Win because he was talking to himself a minute ago. It was River Plate. It was River Plate that at the time in 2018 or so won Copa Libertadores. I mean, they were the most feared team in that time in South America, but they didn't get. I mean, they had young players. Enzo Fernandez was one of them. Julian Alvarez was another one. But they're young players. But you didn't. They come out of the club. You know what I mean? They're not buying them from anywhere. They were buying 30-year-old players, 32-year-old players, 33-year-old center back because they wanted to win now. Now is the time to win. And I mean, if you compare Newcastle to River Plate in South America, it's not comparable because the River Plate is probably like Real Madrid in South America, to be honest. But they're ready to win. But I think for us to get that way, we're gonna have to do what we need to do. Bring Mbeumo in. That's what we need to focus on. We're still buying these young players like Finneran and all that. They're not going to do anything now. They're not.
No. But we have to do that.
Yeah, we have to build
because the reason City have been able to sell the youngsters that they've sold for big money and made loads of money is because they then do exactly what you're saying and go out and buy proven top quality players for the first team.
I agree, but Cole Palmer didn't.
They're only able to do that because the likes of Cole Palmer.
But Cole Palmer didn't play for Man City's first team regularly.
No, they did McAtee.
He's or the guy that we bought, or the other guy that we bought, the blonde guy. I forget his name.
Alfie Harrison.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is they've made millions of pounds off them, which enables them then to go out and buy the finished product.
I understand that. But
so we have got to build our academy up.
Yes, you're right.
And you're right, that's not helping us right now, no, but it certainly will help us in the future. And as far as PIF concerned, Newcastle United aren't a today project, they are a long-term project.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, they both can go. They both can be right at the same time. I don't think I don't think you're going to be 10th every year and then say, we got to wait 10 more years. No.
But I do think though it's like I said before. We've got to a degree, we've got to stop comparing ourselves to the likes of Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool's and Arsenal's because of the rains upon us with the PSL crap, we're not allowed to spend money, and the only way we can build for the future, as Wins just said there, is through the academy that it isn't affecting the PSR situation. But what it can give you, the likes of Man City now, Man City could make 90 odd million pounds on players, like you said, Chris, that never made the first team, that have been sold to second teams, but they've got a sell-on clause with. So they can make another 90 odd million pounds this year if those said players move on.
You could argue that we've done it twice. You could argue we've done it twice already with Minty and Anderson. Anderson was never going to play in our first team regularly, and we got 45 million for him. Minty probably would have had a shot, but PSR forced our hand. We had to sell him to balance the books. And that's a completely different situation to what the people that we are trying to compete with are facing.
Yeah, but you can also say with PSR we've done pretty well. We spent we spent close to 500 million a long time ago, and that's still helping us now. It's still working now.
Yeah,
and it seems like we'll be able to spend a lot more now this summer. Hopefully that's the case. And if we do, then, we're going to be in a position where we can actually, I think if you make the right moves, we're going to be in a position to compete for the league.
Absolutely.
So with PSR,
yeah.
And,
not breaking any laws. And I think that's admirable in my eyes.
Exactly.
I mean, that's something that I think we could probably do a bit of a side show.
We got to get to the point. Yeah, we can do that. We got to get to the point where we are able to sell these young players without them having without them having to pass through the first team shop window, because Man City has done that. Cole Palmer, they barely got a game with the first team, if any, and he was sold, and they went to Chelsea, did well, doing well, and a bunch of other players as well. So now they kept the ones they wanted to keep, which are usually going to be, by the way, defenders, left back, right back, Rico Lewis type players. Than the main ones up front. Because the main ones up front for a big team or a team like we want to be, you got Isak, you got Tonali, you got them big. You're not gonna replace them. You know what I mean? But like a Lewis Hole, basically an academy player when he came here, we were able to buy him, and he ain't going nowhere. Livramento, same thing. I mean, at this point, even if you get I don't even know what position Finneran plays. What position does he play?
It's a fullback, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
No, fullback
so.
He's a defensive player. I can't remember exactly where he plays.
He probably ain't gonna get a game here. I mean, ever. We got good left back, right back, and if you get center backs, either Margui or Kwanzaa, whoever, they're not gonna get. The young players are not gonna get any minutes. Maybe the goalkeeper could have a hope. If with Dubravka possibly leaving and Pope not being. Some people want to sell him. Some people, I think people are divided on Pope as far as the future for Newcastle. Maybe a young goalkeeper, or the one coming. Not even a goalkeeper anymore because I forgot about the one.
I cannot say us winning the Premier League with Nick Pope and goal. There you go.
Yeah. Remember the what's the one that's coming supposedly from
Trafford?
Yeah. So if Trafford comes in, then no youngster has any chance of coming in. Even the young lad, there's a good striker too. I hear the guy that got called for the cup final. What's his name?
On the subs bench.
Yeah.
Travis Hearn.
What's his last name? What's his surname?
Who for? Did you say?
For Newcastle. Yeah.
Been playing out of his skin for the young ones.
Yeah.
What? Sean Neves?
Neve. Yeah. Is he ever gonna get a minute? Look. At this point, you ain't got a striker. Why wouldn't Eddie just put him on and see what he can do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's having the confidence. Yeah, it's like I said. For me, it's having the confidence to have a go. And I think what Eddie Howe tries to do, unfortunately, I would say unfortunately, it is what it is. Some managers like to protect players and not give them. When you're playing at St James's Park, it's a cauldron. The atmosphere and everything else.
That could help them.
You have but it could also fail you as a player.
Exactly. Well,
you know what I mean?
That
it's all about
confidence
building.
It tests your personality.
You've got to be big enough, and I'll keep on saying, if you're good enough, you're old enough. But
Yeah.
I don't know whether Eddie Howe has that same mentality.
Thank you to Dean Alf. He says, Chris, I think the
Thank you.
world of you, bro. I watch you from day
Dot
but
from the
I've
start.
Seen, but I've seen the mighty win outside the three bulls at the parade. Was next level. And I've been a top fan since day one. God bless. Cheers to Dean. Dean Alfie. Appreciate that, mate.
And Dean, my apologies because I obviously I remember you, but I'd forgotten your name, so I couldn't give you a mention. But welcome, boy.
Cheers, Dean. I appreciate that, son. Good stuff. And I appreciate everybody that's watching as well. Hit the like button, folks. Come on, do that. Help us out. And all right, so let's go on the predictions then. What do we predict? Actually, I haven't even posted my prediction. Let me see real quick. We need some predictions for some folks. Jordy Dan you need to check the post, man. The post on YouTube. Jordy, Antagonizing Jordy posted his on there. Did
Antagonizing Jordy give a score for?
I don't think so. I don't remember. You have to look.
I asked everybody and nobody could spot it.
All right. So me, I'm gonna say 2-0.
Yeah, copycat.
I didn't even look at you, man. There's a reason why I'm first, so I don't know who's copying who.
Exactly.
And you are where? Oh man, that's crazy. You're 1, 2, 3.
Never judge a painting when it's half finished.
Oh, here we go.
But it ain't half though. That's almost done, man. You better hurry up. You're running out of paint here. Gary, you said 3-0. That could be a good one as well. Antagonizing Jordy did have his. Let me see if I can pull it up from the post. Because Mighty Win is too lazy. I have to tell this week. Every week I have to tell him that. I don't understand.
I can't find it at all.
It says post literally there, man. Posts. Oh, my God. Hey, Alfie, Dean Alfie, you want a job, man? Okay, man. Hell, man. Anyways, let me look at this. Brian Quinn said 3-1. Brian Quinn, you never sign up for this tournament, though. You can always sign up. But I mean, right now, how many games you got left?
I'm gonna say, yeah, you ain't got a lot
Forget
left.
it.
Yeah.
Niall Powell says 4-0 and Antagonizing Jordan 3-0. So turn the volume down, man. He's watching us too, man. It's good.
I've just put it on. I better put a like in it.
So the Antagonizing is 3-0.
Everybody hit the like button.
Niall, where the hell's Niall at? Niall says
What a worldie from Crystal Palace there.
There we go. Dean is 2-1. By the way, when the season is over, we'll start, promoting the next tournament, NTTV tournament, and you can sign up for £5 for the whole year, and you give us your prediction for every single game that Newcastle is involved in. Next season, we'll add one more tournament, obviously, because we'll be in Europe, so more chances for you to catch up, win, whatever. So the prizes right now, let me just remind you, the total pot is worth £170. First place gets £100. Second place £40. Third place £25. Fourth place £5. So you get your money back. But you also got to pay. This is the only show ever, the only channel where the 5th, 6th, and 7th could earn a prize. They will earn a prize that could be worth more than the fourth place, which is £5. Some memorabilia, you'll get something. You get a prize. If it's from the club shop, trust me, it'll be mine for more than £5. You
can't get a bag from the club shop for less than £5.
And so you'll get your money back if all up to 7th place. So we're trying to just give back to the fan. You have to be a member though. You sign up with £5 and you have to be a member of the channel. And we'll tweak some things, of course. Maybe we can do like a half-season prize, something like that. We'll see. But regardless, we'll be back again, hopefully with more people. So
did you get that one off Beard?
Beard says, so I went, what the hell? 10-0, please. Well, okay then. Some people don't give a damn about their fivers. That's why. So 10-0.
I'll tell you something now. I'll give you my fiver if we get 10-0. That'll be classic.
Queen of Heart, we need your prediction. We need Hell's Heart says 3-1 to tune. RG Fox, he did post his as well, man. Fucking yeah, this guy, man. Don't ever trust the Mighty Wayne, dude. I swear. Jordy Dan for Life 4-0. Harry Austin 2-0. Mighty Win 2-1. Jamie 4-1. Benjamin, we need your predictions. Ben is selling his house, is doing some personal things. So, but at least give us your prediction, mate. Amrit says 3-1. Mighty Mac 3-0. Elias Tobias, we need yours.
No,
2-0.
Elias Tobias is it.
Oh, and then Elias Tobias. So we need Roy Cavianis. Niall Ian Fleming, we need your prediction, mate. Come on now. Niall Powell just put 4-0. Steve Rock the 2 need yours. Beer Viking. I don't know what's happened to Beer Viking, man.
I don't know. I haven't seen him for a long time.
No.
Starting to worry about Beer Viking now. Let me know if you see him in other chats. At least we know he's alive. He just don't like us anymore, which is fine. But at least he's alive. DX31, Ronald Turnbull, we need yours. He did say hi.
I'm going to say, apart from, like I say, I miss Beer Vikings chat because he comes out with some absolute worldies, doesn't he? And if it wasn't for Geordie Dan, that's often with us during the daytime, who gives up the same type of banter. It's
hang on. Chris, RG Fox is 2-0 to Toon.
Okay. And you're telling me to
Queenie,
type it in there.
Queenie is...
Wait.
Well, I'm on a different screen now. Queenie is 3-1 to Toon.
3-1, okay. RG Fox is what?
2-0 to Toon.
Okay.
Who else did he say we're missing?
We're missing Ben. We're missing Roy.
DX.
DX is 3-1, yep. DX is 3-1. Ronald Turnbull missing yours. Jonathan Shaw says 3-0. Steve McCullough, we're missing yours. Key88 says 3-2 to Toon. Andy Bell, we're missing it. Josh, we're missing your prediction. Olfer, 1-1. PDK, missing your prediction. George Eaton as well.
George Eaton's disappeared
missing.
as well. Ben's 2-0 to Toon.
Let me see. Ben, 2-0. All right. And Trolls, missing yours as well. Trolls was here this morning.
Trolls was 1-1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, not Trolls. Ulfo was 1-1. Getting me Scandinavians mixed up.
Beard says 10-0. We need Paul, Markey as well. Markey, he's on and off. Foxy and Brian Scott, who they say is in jail, so I don't know. But Beer Biker said he was in jail, and Beer Biker is gone as well. So, anyway, David T says he'll get involved next season as long as Win is not involved in the totting up of points.
That's all done automatically.
It's all automatically. Automatically. I mean, your score might go to somebody else. That's one thing. Because Win is always messing it up. But no, I'm just playing. Everybody's got the point. And by the way, at the end of the season, you can go to the website NUFCtalk.tv, go to the table predictions, and see the table right there as it gets updated automatically, and you'll see your positions. So it's all on the website. And at the end of the season, we will expend everything, so you'll be able to go back and see, hey, wait a minute, this is not my prediction, and I have proof that it isn't. So let me show you, and we'll fix it right up, and we'll see where you end up. But not for the most part, everybody's really accurate. So
Ian Fleming just come in on a prediction
4-0.
For 4-0, yeah.
Yeah. So. And Brent as well, we need you to get on there, man, next season. Brent, a lot of people that could be. A-Punk says 2-1. So next season, we'll definitely open it up, and hopefully more people get involved. And this is money that just goes back out to you guys. So it's
£100 for the winner, £40 for the runner-up, £25.
And by the way,
might be even more next year.
Yeah,
with the amount of interest we've got. Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully more, yeah. And by the way, it's thanks to me and Gary that the first all the way through 7th place get a prize, because Mighty Win just wanted the first place to get all the money. And I'm like, come on, man, this is a game, bro. This is just to keep fun, give back to the members. But anyways, Dean says, Chris, I watch you from day dot, bro. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. I've seen a Dean before.
Not in the chat much. I asked him if he was in the chat because it wasn't a name I recognized.
There is a Dean in the chat. By the way, that tells me, please do this. Join us on the group chat, on the WhatsApp group. It's right here. This is the join our WhatsApp group here. Sorry for the small letters, but this is the link. Join us there, and just come on, banter us, chat with us. We have a WhatsApp group that we talk all things Newcastle United, debate, converse with.
As Brant,
Argue.
as Brant gone Jamaican. Look, £100 for the winner. That's 120 American. Where's the A in American, man? Come on, American.
American.
Well done,
And by the way,
A beer can sandwich.
and by the way, I can see this is what the group chat is for as well, because I see that Brent posted his
chat on there.
his scarf that he just got yesterday.
yeah.
Winners of 2025. Which, by the way, I ordered my shirt. I still haven't gotten it.
Yeah,
So
I haven't
come on
got
now.
mine either. The log back, mate, is ridiculous. Apparently, the demand has been ridiculously high
Yeah,
for that shirt.
I bet. So,
And
join
that's
our
worldwide,
WhatsApp group.
mind the way, not just like in the UK, or it's worldwide. Everybody's asking for the same shirt.
Exactly. Join our WhatsApp group. Keep it friendly. There's some rules, no politics, none of that stuff. But all things Newcastle United and the sport that we follow. Good banter, good conversations, and yeah. And well, David T said with the tariffs, there'll be 10 extra to join. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. The tariffs going around, boy. Win. I was gonna tell you, man. Send me a case of brown ale, the proper one. But boy, that's gonna cost me a lot, isn't it?
It certainly is with shipping.
Yeah. And by the way, you got that twat tax that annoys me. The VAT, whatever the hell it's called. Man,
Yeah.
what
Well,
the
you-
hell,
you-
man?
you've got
You
your
tax
local-
on top of tax, man.
Yeah,
What's
you've
wrong
got
with
your
that?
local
That's
taxes.
That's exactly what you've got with your local taxes and your state taxes.
Yeah, no, but if I buy something from Europe, I have to on top of that pay VAT tax, and still pay American tax. It's criminal, man, criminal. But anyways, all right. So predictions are there. Last but not least, though, players who have played for Leicester and Newcastle United. Give us some guesses in the chat.
Well, I'll give you one that nobody will get. Who was a trophy winner for Newcastle United? The last trophy we won. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't the last trophy we won because we've won it once since.
With one since, I'm going to say.
Exactly.
In the Fairs Cup team, Jackie Sinclair.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Sinclair.
Jackie Sinclair we got from
Did
Leicester.
Dan Burn not play for Leicester? Oh, he played for Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
I got Perez, obviously.
Yeah.
Simpson.
Danny Simpson.
Danny
who I-
Simpson.
But
Who I believe
you will be able to say whatever you just said about that old player about one in our current team. Harvey Barnes, baby, Harvey Barnes.
Harvey.
They were the five I had. I had Nobby, Simpson, Barnes,
Nobody did play for them yet.
Jackie Sinclair, and Perez.
Harvey Barnes was the the last player. How did you phrase that earlier? About the other player, Sinclair or no?
Jackie Sinclair he was
yeah.
he was the last Leicester player that were bought to win a
Well,
trophy.
Harvey Barnes is the last player we brought from Leicester.
But I then deliberately corrected. Oh no, he wasn't
Yeah.
because we've won it once since.
It was Harvey Barnes instead.
It was.
Patrick Van Aanholt. There's another one that played
Van
for the
Aanholt,
two.
yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Les Ferdinand.
Oh yeah, we brought that up.
Ferdinand for Leicester.
Les
Friend-
Ferdinand, yeah.
Franz Carr.
Oh, yeah,
for-
Carl. Yeah.
There must have been after us because we signed him from Forest, didn't we?
Steve Howie, didn't he play for Leicester?
Yeah, he did. I see him
Right,
here.
yeah.
I see him here. Nikos Dabisas. I forgot.
Did he?
Oh,
I
God.
liked. He was one of my favourites.
Yeah,
He actually came from there, unless he was
No, we signed him from Greece.
he was free. Oh no, he's okay. Well, he 1 year he went back to Greece, I guess, because he was 97, 2002 at Newcastle. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it was the other way around. Never mind. Okay, and then he went to Leicester in 2003, 2004.
How about Gillespie?
Keith Gillespie, yeah.
Yeah, Gillespie. I'm going to say I can remember him. He was early 2000s, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It was after us. Yeah.
Tony Adams and Stam.
Once they leave, I couldn't give a toss.
Dean Alfie. Danny Simpson. Islam
Danny
Slimani.
Simpson, we left for to. You know this when we sold Danny Simpson in the previous season, he'd cleared off his own lane 5 times. Stopped certain goals 5 times. Great player. And went on to win the title, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Slam Slimani, I remember him just
remember
played
him.
for like 2 games, like 1 minute in Newcastle, and then he must have came in on loan or something because he was 2016-20 to Leicester, but in 2017 he was with us for 4 games.
Slimani.
Yeah. Chris Wood, don't forget about him.
Eh?
Oh, crikey, Chris Wood's been to every team, hasn't he? Jesus
Chris Wood, Leicester City, 2012, 2014, and he played with us. So there you go. Those are the.
Peter Beardsley didn't, did he? Because he played for just about everybody.
No, I think he played for maybe Brentford or one of the teams. One of them teams he played for, but not this one. So there you go. Those are the ones. Carl Court.
Oh, blimey, yeah.
That must have been after us as well.
Yeah. Anyway, so good stuff, good information, and good things there. But we got to go. We'll be back on Monday for the match commentary, reaction, player scores, and all of that jazz.
And Hewick for the Grand National. You heard it here first.
Exactly.
Get your money on it.
If you put your money on your horse, man, you got to get on that horse and ride it. But anyways, here in America, man, we're man enough to get on the horse and ride it. You guys just pay for the pay. You give money to the horse riding.
We pay midgets to get on the horse
instead of just riding the horse by yourself.
You would never make it as a jockey here, Fatso.
Man, a jockey, man. Look how they dress, man. The funny look. We wear a cowboy hat and spurs when we get on the horse. You wear tights. I'm fine with where I'm at. Thank you very much. And by the way,
when was the last time you were on a horse?
I would probably say about 9 years, probably back on a horse. And by the way, I was giving it hell too, man. Boy, I was on a horse, man. Hey, listen, I live in countryland.
I know you do. It's 9 years since you were on a horse.
Yeah, but I was busy. I was busy defending my country. Thank you. Anyways. But no, this was back when I was in high school, man. I was on that horse. Now the horse would tell me, "Get off, man."
Yeah.
The horse will have
be the talking horse. You having a laugh?
The horse.
I've got a pair of scales that does that.
The horse would need a chiropractor after I'm done.
I speak your weight. Can money get off, please?
The horse would look at me. Oh wait, man. Anyways, it's been a great show. We'll see you guys back on Monday, folks. Cheers. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care and how away the lads.
How away the lads.